Tons remain between rescuers and those buried in a bombed-out building. Yesterday's bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building has left 200 injured and 200 still unaccounted for. For the latest on the bombing, we go now live to Oklahoma City. A busy night for people last night.
Yes, it has been, Mike. Rescue crews have been tirelessly working around the clock, trying to find any survivors who might still be in that building. But nearly a day after the blast, they say it is now more a hunt for bodies than it is a search for survivors. Now, this was the headline that residents woke up to, morning of terror. Of course, that was yesterday when residents were coping with the shock. But now rescue workers today, the morning after the terror, must now deal with the devastation. I'm told inside the building is just literally littered with corpses. But rescue crews are not giving up their efforts here. Last night, they escalated their search for survivors. As night fell on the devastation, rescue workers continued their search, even escalated their efforts. Those who are searching for survivors say every moment here is precious.
There's a crane set up over there. You can see just the tip of it here. There's all kinds of tractors and machinery, and as far as I know, they've got the rescue crews in there from the ATF and everybody else, listening. But I don't see any way there's anybody could live through that.
Floodlights now illuminate the crater that at the start of the day was a building. Heavy equipment, bulldozers, trucks, and cranes have been brought in. Workers near the area say the search is massive. Hundreds are still unaccounted for, and there is still hope they will be survivors. A glimmer of that hope showed up late tonight when 2 people were uncovered. Does that give you hope?
Yes, ma'am, it does. I'm hoping there's still some more kids they're still alive.
And certainly that is the hope, that some will still be found alive in all of the rubble behind me. Now, rescue crews right now are using special heat-sniffing dogs. The dogs were brought in from Phoenix and also Sacramento. These dogs can literally sniff out survivors. There are also experts on hand here from FEMA helping the rescuers to pinpoint voids in the building where there might possibly, Mike, be some survivors in there.
Now, Don, I understand some people are being questioned today, the search for suspects. What's the latest on that?
Exactly, Mike. The FBI will not confirm this, but there are reports that 3 men are being questioned by police here. The men were reportedly picked up in Oklahoma City in a Chevy Cavalier. They have not been arrested, just are being questioned. We also have reports that the brown pickup that the men fled in yesterday, the alleged suspects, was found somewhere in Oklahoma by the Highway Patrol. We don't know exactly where, but certainly the efforts now are on finding anyone who might still be trapped and alive in the building here.
All right, good work, Don. Thanks a lot. We'll look forward to some updates later in the day.
Now, coverage you count on. This is Cape News 10 at 10.
What could be the worst act of terrorism in U.S. history leaves at least 26 people dead, 300 more still missing tonight in Oklahoma City. The terror in the heartland continues tonight as rescuers search for more victims and survivors of this morning's explosion. The Alfred Murrah Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City was the target of what is now being called the deadliest U.S. bombing in 75 years. The workday had just begun when what appears to be a car bomb literally tore off the side of the 9-story office building. More than 200 people have been injured, 58 of them critically. There has been no immediate claim of responsibility for this morning's attack. Rain in Oklahoma City tonight is making a very tough job even tougher. For the latest on the rescue efforts, let's check in live with our Dawn Tongish, who is still in Oklahoma City tonight. Dawn.
Mark, the rescue efforts are still continuing here, and they will around the clock until all of those who are still missing are accounted for. Now, you can see behind me, they have brought in a large crane and now are moving a basket floor to floor looking for any survivors. We just received word that authorities have now pulled 3 more people from the rubble, but they are not saying if they are alive or dead. Certainly, this rescue effort tonight is turning very frantic because if there are any survivors in the rubble behind me, they have now been buried more than 12 hours. As night fell on the devastation, rescue workers continued their search, even escalated their efforts. Those who are searching for survivors say every moment here is precious.
There's a crane set up over there. You can see just the tip of it here. There's all kinds of tractors and machinery, and as far as I know, they've got the rescue crews in there from the ATF and everybody else, you know, listening. But I don't see any way there's anybody could live through that.
Floodlights now illuminate the crater that at the start of the day was a building. Heavy equipment, bulldozers, trucks, and cranes have been brought in. Workers near the area say the search is massive. Hundreds are still unaccounted for, and there is still hope they will be survivors. A glimmer of that hope showed up late tonight when 2 people were uncovered alive. Does that give you hope?
Yes, ma'am, it does. I'm hoping there's still some more kids that's there still alive.
Now, those who were discovered just about an hour ago tonight were found near the daycare center where so many of the children died. And that's what has made this ordeal such a tragedy, is that there were so many child victims. Now, our Lachelle Yates has been looking into that. I think that's what people find so tough to cope with, is that so many innocents died.
I think you're very right. I mean, everybody is still hoping that even the latest 3 that they pulled out could possibly be children still alive, hoping that they are going to find more children in the rubble. Now, this is such a tragedy because 12 of the 26 dead are children. That has been downscaled from the original report of 12. Now, some of the earliest survivors that were pulled from the wreckage were children. They were bleeding, but they were all right for the most part. Now, at one local hospital, they treated 12 kids. 8 of those kids went home, but tonight they do still have 4 in serious or critical condition. Now, many of the doctors that we talked to tonight say they have been on the scenes of many, many disasters. They've never seen one as bad as this because of the number of kids hurt or injured.
What concerned me most was that we dealt with the first 15 patients that came to our hospital very quickly, in an hour and a half, and we were expecting another 15 to 20, and they never came.
The daycare center was on the 2nd floor, and doctors say most of the children who didn't survive suffered head injuries when the building exploded. Officials say the children who did survive may have been in an outside playground. Some children from the nearby YMCA daycare center were brought here to the Red Cross office.
We're matched up with their parents. They're all safe and they're all matched up. So we were very excited about that part of this disaster.
But parents with children at the daycare center in the federal office building weren't so lucky.
And that was very hard because we didn't have their children here and we didn't know what to tell them or where to send them. It was very heartbreaking.
Now, again, there are 12 confirmed dead children, but that has been downscaled from 17 from earlier reports. And there is, besides the 3 people found, there is a glimmer of hope. There are 2 children that haven't been claimed yet, so they're hoping that those parents will come and get those kids.
And hoping there are more survivors in this. Thank you, Lachelle. Now, this incident here has certainly drawn a lot of spectators. Many people are out on the street looking, trying to find out where their loved ones are. At first, people were very shocked. Now they're very angered. They want to know who did this. And tonight, federal authorities do think they have some leads on who might have set this bomb. They have a description of the suspects. They are looking for 3 men. 2 of those are Middle Eastern in appearance. They have dark hair, beards, and mustaches. They are wearing blue jogging suits. Now, the 3rd person, who is believed to be the getaway car driver, there is no description on him. But they believe that the suspects drove away in a brown pickup truck with tinted windows. Now, that vehicle has been traced to a rental agency at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. Now, an APB has been issued. They are receiving hundreds of calls. The APB has also been issued in Wichita. Wichita police are trying to help in this investigation. One other point, the governor of Oklahoma has called out the National Guard tonight to secure the area for any looting. Certainly there are a lot of unanswered questions after a very tragic day. We'll try to update you, Mark, tomorrow on Good Morning Kansas.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much, and to Lachelle as well. Now, if your kids have been watching today's news coverage with you, they have seen the devastating pictures of injured kids, and you might be wondering how to best explain today's events.
Some children may come to their parents and say, why did this happen? How did this happen? Can this happen here? And I think as a parent, right now, we have to help our children feel as safe as possible.
Dr. Reiner adds children need reassurance that bombings like